You want to try FPV, and these are some cheap goggles that you are either going to love or you're going to hate. G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, what we're doing, this video is for you people out there. You want to try FPV, you don't want to drop $700 on an FPV rig pair of glasses, like that's what these fat chucks are, with the receivers, all that sort of stuff. You want to just get in. I understand what it can be like if you don't have tons of money and you want to try FPV. So today, we're checking out a very, very cheap budget option. It's the Eachine VRD3s. We're going to put them on the bench, break them down, very quickly go through the text and the specs. And let me tell you, it is very important you get your goggles right. So we're going to take them out to the field. I'll give you my impressions. We'll hand them over to the old man, Grumpy Trevor, as well. See how they fit his older eyes. And also the whiz kid Granger. He's 16 years old. We'll give them to him, get his impressions. So we can sort of get a broad range of spectrums based on your age, how your eyes goes. We're going to find out how these goggles actually go for you. Now, traditionally in the past, cheap box goggles don't get a very good rap from me. I know I'm not a very big fan of them. This one does do some little things differently, but it would be too easy for me to sit here on my high horse and say you should only fly. Like, I fly amazing goggles. Like, we've got some HDOs here. They've got like the rapid fire receiver unit, special antennas, all that sort of stuff. But I understand not everybody has $700 plus to drop on a pair of goggles. So what we're going to be trying to do is look at them for the price they actually cost, because I feel like that's really important. And I know, of course, these are going to be so much better, but let's judge them on its merits and also on its price. So for you guys out there, you don't have too much money to spend. Let's find out how these goggles actually go. They do some things differently too, like a little bit telescopic to help you with the focus. That's important. But let's put them on the bench and find out, are these goggles going to be right for you, or are they just, even though they're cheap, they're just not worth it? So let's do it, give it a squiz, and then go have some fun and show you some DVR as well. In 3, 2, 1, boop. Righto, here they are on the bench, and I should also mention too, they do come with a few little extra pads and cleaning cloths, all that sort of stuff, but I picked this pair up in China when I was visiting the Banggood HQ, so we've had this one for a little while. You might get some little extras that come with it, but I'll put the official link down below where you can check it. But overall, this is the test unit that I bought back, so we've had it for a little while. We get 2 different antennas that come with it, so we'll get those out of the way, a patch and also an omnidirectional, and let me tell you, I was really impressed with the reception. Actually, they did a fantastic job. Now, the weight, it's about 270 grams when you've got the antennas and all that sort of stuff on it, and there's not too much to go through because it's a very, very basic goggle. You can see we've got at the front, we've got our diversity, and that's where you just put in your RP SMA antennas. You've got those there, and then you've got just 4 buttons on the side and a DVR button, and I really love this. It does come with a manual as well, but look, I don't have that because I've got the early version from China. But you know, you can just press this button, and if it starts flashing red, well, you know you're golden. That's how you can record your DVR. So that part is very, very intuitive. And then on the side, all you've got your on-off button, so you hold that in to turn it on, and then that should come on. There we go, so you can see that's on right now. And then you've got your go up a channel, go down a channel, and go into your menu. I guess go up and go down, which you use for your channels, and then also your menu. And in there you can adjust things like your saturation, your brightness, your colors, all those sort of standard things. And you can also set it to play some of the DVR back, so you can watch your DVR back that you have actually recorded. Now, it does have an auto search function, so if you want to press this button, it will cycle through all the channels. And one part I did find annoying is it just, I'll get out of that menu if I can, just down there, is when you're going through the channels, it just goes through them one at a time. So I guess it goes through the whole band, so it goes up very, very slowly. You can't go through individual bands. If you want to go through all the Fat Shark channels, it's going to be a pain because you've got to go through the entire spectrum. But other than that, my favorite feature is right here, this telescopic part. So if you, most of the time, these cheaper goggles, they don't have an option to adjust the focal length. This is the first pair I've seen that actually slides in and out. I really like that, but what I do wish, and you'll see this when we're flying around, I wish it even came out a little bit further, because the older your eyes get, the less eye strain you need, the further this thing is away. So when it's very, very close, that might be okay for some people, but I found I had to have it right out on the outer extremities of the telescope. Now, talking about the screen itself before we go out, fly it around, I've turned it off here. Oh, I should say too, it's got just a 1S battery in here, and it is 1000 milliamps, and the screen is 900 by 600 in resolution, and that's a 3-inch screen, and it is quite immersive. But look, it's not massive massive. And look, I should probably just save to what I actually thought about the screen when we're out in the field. But that's it overall on the bench. Very, very simple goggle. Diversity, DVR, easy to use buttons on the side, and a nice bright screen that you're going to find actually enjoyable. And it's telescopic, so it is nice. You can adjust it all for it at a pretty cheap price. But what we should do, let's jump out to the field, fly it around, and give you the impressions of, I guess, 3 ages. So Granger, myself, and Trev, and find out, is this going to be a good cheap goggle for you, or are you better off giving it a miss? So let's go out to the field now in 3, 2, 1. G'day! No, well, that's not usually how I start. It's been so long since I've done this. Oh, God. It's been so long. Rightio, out here in the field. First time back in Oz, in the field since our China trip. I'm here, we're catching up with Grumpy Trev. We've got Granger as well. But what we're going to be putting through its paces are these little cheap Eachine box goggles. We'll fly around with them. They actually record some DVR. They're very cheap. I'll give you my impressions, and we'll hand over to the grumpy bugger himself, GT, and also see what the whiz kid thinks over there, Granger, as well. So let's do it. Find out if these cheap box goggles are worth it, or whether too cheap is just a waste of money. All right, let's do it. What channel are you on?
E2.
5, 6. Oh my God, that's going to take forever. Okay. Oh, there is a scan. 5695? Yes. No? Okay. Alright, well, you know what? I can see on the screen more than I thought I'd be able to. Let's take it for a look. There's no light leakage. The bands are probably a little bit tight. I'm going to adjust that right now.
Because your head's too big.
Yeah, but I can see the diversity is working. It's switching from A to B, or that's what a little symbol up in the top right hand corner is saying anyway. Now whether that actually works. Oh, what am I flying? This is
SXJB.
Your quad, okay. Oh, the colors are nice. I'm not getting any latency and not too much dropout. You know, a couple little breakups, nothing abnormal. Now, one big thing for me is eye strain. Usually with these cheaper box goggles, you are going to get a whole lot of eye strain. But this one, I'm pleasantly surprised. You know, now that I'm actually flying around, it's not actually painful, which usually happens quite a lot with those cheaper ones. Colors are nice. The screen, it's, well, I guess it doesn't feel small at all because it's this box style. They always feel big. It's not very heavy. It's comfortable on your face. Let's test out the reception actually. I'm going to go out here. Remember, this is just with the dodgy stock antennas. So I don't know if this is in shot, Trevor, but can you see the golf tree? Can you see if you can point to that on the camera?
Yep, doing that now.
Yep, so I'm over here near this tree. We call that the golf tree because someone's over there coming back. But the reception was totally fine. I'll put some DVR on the screen at the end of this video as well, but all right. Now, I don't really like the internal little battery, but I guess for a really cheap price, you can't complain too much. For me, to sum this up, I'm going to say I'm impressed. The colors are good. There's no latency. It actually doesn't feel uncomfortable on your face, and you do have an adjustment option. And probably my favorite thing, I'm not getting eye strain, so it's not uncomfortable to fly, which is really, really important. Some of those other box goggles, I hate it. You fly them around, your eyes actually ache. It feels like you're going cross-eyed, and that's not the case with this one. So I don't know, I can't believe I'm saying that, but this is actually an okay, decent, cheap box goggle, and we got some good reception as well. Anyway, what we should do, let's hand it over to GT himself, see what he thinks, because he does have some older eyes, and then also the whiz kid Granger. Rightio, GT, how have you been, man? Anyway, it's been a long time since we've caught up, I guess, out for a fly session. You didn't make it to China, but now we're back out in the field with you.
Yeah, and the first thing you give me to review is some box goggles.
Yeah, that's it, we're coming back. I bought these back from Benger's HQ, mate. That's where I had to put them in my carry-on, so there you go.
Well, they're light, got a lot of buttons on them.
Well, they got three buttons.
There's 4.
Okay, I can't count. Yep, yeah. Yep. And what do you traditionally think of box goggles?
Most of the ones I've seen have been really
Are there any you like?
Yeah, one. No, the Vipers were probably the best ones I've seen. Well, are the best ones I've seen because I could actually use them. Anyway, we'll whack these on. They certainly light. Well,
what don't you normally like about it? So I know you say you don't like about box goggles, but what do you not usually like about them?
Well, most of them are very uncomfortable, and I can't see properly with her because I've got older eyes, so they're made for younger people, and usually they're just so we'll just try these anyway.
Yep.
And well, I've got to say, these actually feel comfortable. You're sliding back and forth. Well, look, I could probably fly with them, but they're not 100% in focus for me. But
do you need it? What do you mean? If they're not in focus, is this slid all the way? Oh yeah, that's
it's all the way. Yeah, I'd probably just needs a little bit more. But these are comfortable. How much are these things?
They're like $50, $60. I'll link it down below now, but very, very cheap.
Well, I
could be wrong. Maybe they could be $40. I'm not sure because they didn't have a price when I first got them.
Guess the controller, will you? Let's see if I can fly.
Alright, here it is.
I'm surprised for something so cheap how comfortable this is. Oh, I can see the prop spinner. Oh yeah, I can fly, but it's not very clear for me. I can see where I'm going, but they're not 100% in focus. So look, if you've got older eyes at all, or you wear glasses, forget it. These aren't going to be any good for you. But if you're just getting into it and you've got good eyes and you're young, these are comfortable. They're cheap. The colours are bloody great. I can actually fly, but not fast. I've got a grandson that would love these. I actually might even get a set for him. I don't mind them, and I'm saying that about box goggles. These are cheap, very nice colour, great screen, very light and comfortable.
How's the reception? Any issues?
Oh look, just a couple of blips, but that's nothing. I mean, I'm flying out near the golf tree, which is over there. Yeah, and with the crappy antennas you get with it, it's pretty damn good.
Yep. Would you use these goggles though? That's what I'm asking. Look, would you use them?
I wouldn't use
them. For you personally?
No, I wouldn't, because I can't see properly. I can see the bottom just like the OSD, but it's not clear for me.
Alright, who would you recommend them for then?
Actually, if I squint, they're not bad.
Transmitter battery low.
Certainly for younger people who don't wear glasses, I think they'll be fine.
Transmitter battery low.
Like, these are probably the second best goggles I've actually seen that I've worn.
I'm just going to go get your drone, alright?
Yep. Well, look, I'm a bit gobsmacked here because I hate box goggles of any type. The Vipers are the best ones I've seen, and these are the best, cheapest I've seen. But just keep in mind, you need good eyes for them. The younger eyes and kids to get started in these things. For goggles like this that are comfortable, or especially on my head, and they even fitted Stu's head, so they must be comfortable. Look, I don't reckon you can go wrong.
Oh, what's your Grumpy Trev rating out of 10 for a cheap box goggle in terms of performance?
Well, look, performance, I'd give them an 8 out of 10. I reckon they were pretty good.
Anything they could do to improve?
Yeah, I'd like to be able to see them, like focus, but
so what do you mean by
probably like a bit longer. You can slide this out. It doesn't need much more for me, and then I'll be able to get focus. It was pretty close.
And what about value for money? Now, look, this is really hard. I'm going to say $50 because I didn't have a price point when we're doing this video. So let's pretend if they're $50, and then people can make their mind up, or whether
if they're $50, I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10, and that's me for a box goggle. I tell you what, these should sell like hotcakes.
All right.
I reckon they're great value.
All right, no worries. Except unless you're old.
Yeah, unless you're old, and if they're more than $50, the rating goes down. But if they're 50, that's for sure.
No worries. All right. What we should do, I think Granger's almost finished setting up over there. About 10 years later, we should hand him over to him. See what the whiz kid thinks of him.
He's going to be another hour.
Granger, you almost done?
We're ready to go.
What?
We're ready to go. You want to start packing up?
Alrighty, Granger, so you're about to try some box goggles, pretty much the opposite end of your usually very high premium stuff. You've got your America down there. What do you normally fly with your goggles?
I normally fly the Fat Shark HD3s.
Alright, and you got a LaForge module?
Yeah, LaForge V4.
Yep. Okay, so what are your first impressions on these Eachine cheap goggles?
Well, obviously they don't look the best in my opinion. I don't like how, for me, I don't like how small they are.
Do you like box goggles in general?
I don't hate them, but I don't love them either, because when I take them off, I usually get sore eyes because I don't realize I've been looking cross-eyed the whole time. I don't like how the screen's always shoved in your face, because that puts off when I'm racing. It makes your eyes move around more. That's why a smaller screen is probably better for racing, in my opinion. I don't mind how they've made it how it can come in and out. That's actually pretty cool for a box goggle. I don't know how long they're going to last in terms of if you keep doing that every time you use it, but hopefully it's okay.
Alright, ready to stick it on your head and see how they go?
Yep, let's try it.
They should fit your head real good because you've got a box head.
Alright, the first thing I see is that they're too small. Like my eyes feel like they're about to fall out.
And we got a big train over here.
Yeah.
And Trevor's crashing.
There is quite a lot of light leakage towards the left of my eyes. Whoa. I can already tell that I feel like I'm looking cross-eyed right now. Oh, yuck. This is really putting me off box goggles, to be honest. This is not as good as I thought it was going to be. There is no latency. It doesn't seem to have any problems with the colors or anything like that. It does look quite nice. I do not feel like I can push quite as hard as, I don't feel like I can push anywhere near as hard as I can with other goggles.
Do you feel like you're getting the racing advantage using these cheap goggles?
If you get these, it'd take a little while to get used to, let's just say that. These, I feel like I'm just not immersed. I feel like it's just so far away and it looks like I'm scouting for things. Like on my other goggles, I can see a lot more, but right here, like I'll try to do a quick little race maneuver. It just, it's hard to concentrate. Oh my god, nah. Like, it's too hard to concentrate because it feels like it's so far away.
Are they comfortable? Not comfortable.
They are not comfortable at all. They do not fit my face. I do have quite a large face.
The reception.
The reception is actually not too bad, to be honest. I've gone behind a few trees. It doesn't break up really at all.
Alright, and what do you think about how they're $60 or $50?
Okay, well for $50, I mean, if I was starting, I would get these because I mean, they're $50 and they're a goggle. You can't complain. And if you're trying to get a friend into the hobby or something like that, I definitely would get these because they're $50, not because they're good, but because they're $50.
Alright, too easy. Alright, so thumbs up, thumbs down, Granger.
Oh, I'm just gonna say thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Alright, nice. Thanks, buddy. We're gonna chop our way up there too, so you might want to bring it in for a landing.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks, Granger.
No worries.
Rightio, so there it is. There's my review of the Eachine VRD3 goggles, and overall, well, I'm kind of on the fence. Look, getting your goggles right, it's really important to me because it's the thing you're connected to the drone with. It's what you see. If you can't see, you can't fly. You've got to get it right. And this review just shows me that people have different opinions on things they like, things they don't like. And look, it's definitely nowhere near as good as we're not really comparing it to the Fat Sharks or anything like that. And that's what I fly. But I feel like for the money, they were okay. I would like a little bit more of an extension. I know he kind of liked them actually, which was surprising, but he needed just that little bit more extra room out to focus. Granger didn't like them, which I thought was interesting, but he does fly some very nice goggles as well. So overall, I feel like, look, they're not terrible, but they're also not game-breaking. But at the same time, they're only really coming in at about $50, $60. So, you know, I love the DVR function. I think that's easy, and I do like the telescopic part. That's really cool as well. So hopefully they can keep improving, go back to the drawing board, make it a little bit better for the next revision. But overall, I'd love to know, what do you guys think? Do you think it's worth it? Now, I do really like the Viper goggles. I'm going to link them down below as well, the FXT, but they're about 3 times the price. So for a really, really cheap budget pair of goggles, it's very hard to sort of pass them up if that's all you can afford. But I'd love to know, what do you guys think? With all those facts, would you get it? Are you in a position where you think it's worth it? What do you think about the Fat Sharks? All that sort of stuff. That's the discussion. Let's have that down below in the comments. Subscribe for more FPV related Eachine VRD3 goggle related comparison to Fat Shark action. And as always, happy flying. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAVfutures family, there's things like bonus velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.